What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react to a very recent address by the Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney. And this seems to be about a variety of different topics, including, the promising looking future of Canada and how the United States, we probably won't be a part of any of that. So I'm very curious to take a look at this actually, because personally, I think that the current declining relationship between Canada and the United States is the perfect example of how the US government and Donald Trump is completely failing the US and the American people. And so I'd really like to see where Canada stands on a lot of this stuff, and I don't know. I guess also what you guys are up to as well. And to be honest, here in the United States, we really don't pay attention to like other outside perspectives and what's going on outside the US and how we affect other things and what people think of us and what's going on. And it's a really big flaw that we have. So I think it's very important to check this out. So let's take a look.
Security can't be achieved by ignoring the obvious or downplaying the very real threats that we Canadians face. I promise you,
Oh,
I will never sugarcoat our challenges. Instead, I will talk with you directly and regularly about our plan.
that's that sounds nice. I wish we had anything remotely close to that going on here. Oh my god. Yeah, we haven't even gotten into the speech yet and it's like you already got me saying like, "Geez, that'd be nice for just to have like, no matter what you think of Mark Carney, if you love the guy or you don't or whatever your politics may be, like I gotta say from an American perspective, it's just gotta be nice to have someone who's just like articulate, poised, educated. Like I don't mean to go on too much of a rant here, but even just with all the stuff that's been going on in the United States, and all the stuff that we have been doing to Canada and the rest of the world, to be quite honest, um, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like when you live here in the U.S. and you just see Trump in the news day after day after day, when you see like someone like Mark Carney get up here and say these things like, "Oh, I'm going to be straightforward and truthful." Yeah, that's a very politician thing to say. I'll be honest, but man, that's just like refreshing, honestly.
Why we're doing what we're doing, what's working, what isn't, and what we're going to do next. So here's the current situation.
Oh, he also said something about the safety, like acknowledging like the truth of what's happening and to prioritize the safety of Canada. I can't help but think like, is that alluding to us, the US? Like, because that's like right at the beginning of his speech here, like saying, like, because it's, I got to admit, true, right? Like, the US has literally threatened Canada many times over the last year, economically, financially, physically. Like, what Trump said, he literally wanted to, like, take over Canada or make it part of the US. Like, he said that. He openly has said that. So, yeah, that's another thing on Mark Carney's mind that he's saying to like you got to be realistic about that and what that means and what how Canada has to respond, I suppose.
The world, as I said earlier, is more dangerous and divided. The U.S. has fundamentally changed its approach to trade, raising its tariffs to levels last seen during the Great Depression.
the US has fundamentally changed its approach to trade, is putting it lightly. That's putting it politely. We have taken on the most moronic, self inflicted wound, stupidity, idiotic policy decision making, perhaps in American history, is how I would put it. But yeah, um, and all that stuff has obviously had huge ramifications on the United States, but also how Canada has to respond to that as well. So,
Many of our former strengths, based on our close ties to America, have become our weaknesses, weaknesses that we must correct.
it's so bad. Like, if you're an American who gives a crap at all about the future of the US and our, like, Canada, our not like our best friend for a long time, our like best trading partner. If you care at all about that stuff as an American, like, you should, like, it makes you want to slam your head against the wall. It's so bad. It's so bad what we have done. You cannot overstate how bad it is. And just hearing like the leader of Canada come out and be like, yeah, all that stuff that we used to do with the United States, that's all going away. That's all, everything that used to mutually benefit us, that's now being used against us. So, and you know what? I can't blame you one bit. That maybe that's the most infuriating part is, as an American, you cannot blame Canada for any of that. The way, I mean, just given what what we have done to Canada, the things we've said, the trust that we have broken, I'm well aware of it. I don't know how, like, a lot of Americans, I'm afraid, are maybe either ignorant of the whole thing, unable to empathize with Canada's position, or just don't care, or what. But with the literal decline of the United States happening before our very eyes, I mean, the leader of Canada is literally right here on the screen saying, like, yeah, doing business with the United States is a weakness. Like, and a lot of people, like a lot of nations, like starting with Carney's speech in Davos, like he's got a lot of worldwide influence. Like a lot of people agree with what he is saying. Like, this is so bad for the US. And we have done it unto ourselves. So I don't, yeah, it's painful to listen to even. Uh Maybe it's more painful cuz it's true. Maybe that's what it is.
Workers in our industries most affected by US tariffs, in autos, in steel, in lumber, are under threat. Businesses are holding back investments, restrained by the pall of uncertainty that's hanging over all of us. The
Yeah.
US has changed, and we must respond.
The US has changed. Um if you can't tell, I'm very worried for the future of the United States, and some of the things I've been hearing about, like Canada and what you guys are doing, and people investing in Canada and new trade partners and visiting Japan. Mark Carney doing the Beyonce world tour and like visiting Australia and Finland and like getting all these trade partners, and that's what, that must feel pretty good as a Canadian, right? Like, if you're an American, what do we have to be proud of right now? Like, or look forward to? Like, oh, bombing the Strait of Hormuz or whatever for the 18th time again? Like, that is that what we have to look forward to now? What?
Canada Strong is our plan to build Canada by Canadians for Canadians. It will attract new investment so we can build more for ourselves, striking new partnerships abroad so we can sell into new markets.
It's very cool. It's interesting because I don't want to take credit. You're, God, you're gonna have to bear with me for this one. Bear with me. Just hold on for a sec. Bear with me on this one. The United States, us losing our mind, going insane, and pushing Canada away, was somewhat of a catalyst, it seems, for Canada to be like, okay, we're gonna go like rule the world. No, we're gonna go work with the rest of the world, distance ourselves from the US and do all this amazing stuff that you've been doing. And so, yeah, can we take any credit for that? Like motivating Canada to do any of that, to get away from us? It's very twisted and backwards. And yeah, I don't know.
It's about taking back control of our security, our borders, and our future. There are some who say there's no need for a comprehensive plan. They believe we should wait it out in the hope that the United States will return to normal.
Oh, really? Thank you. for, thanks. Um, this is a real this is really testing my ability to be like objective and not because obviously I'm American. Like I want to see that happen, but like objectively, it would take at least until Donald Trump is out of office. So, like 3 more years. If you're waiting around to see if things can go back to the way they are and the US gets a grip, or take at least 3 more years, and then you don't even know if like a Donald Trump replacement is gonna win the next election or what. So, yeah, like that's years. Like you can't just wait around for years. And like the stuff that the United States is doing, and Donald Trump, I guess in particular, some of the crazy stuff, like as time is going on, it seems to be getting more extreme, not less. So I don't know if waiting around is, that just doesn't seem like a smart thing to do.
That the good old days will come back. But
Now, again, from the American point of view, that's all any of us want. That's all any, at this point, it's so sad. That's what any American wants, I think, is like, can we just go back? Can we just forget the last 15 months, 16 months ever happened? Please? Like, can we do take backsies or something?
hope isn't a plan, and nostalgia is not a strategy.
Mm.
And the days that young Canadians have known all their lives haven't been that good.
Mm.
Their lifetimes have been marked by a series of shocks and crises from abroad: the Iraq War, the global financial crisis, COVID, and now this. We have to
Yes.
take care of ourselves because we can't rely on one foreign partner. We can't.
Sure. Wow. Yeah, this is interesting seeing this from the Canadian perspective. Like, yeah, very selfishly, we think about like the financial crisis and the war in Iraq that we started as like very American things. But it's like, no, so many of our allies were dragged into that stuff and suffered. And yeah, I have to admit, I have not thought about it from that perspective before. Thank you for suffering at all for any of our benefit here in the US, but it seems like um, the American government isn't really holding up its part in being thankful for any of that, for what that's worth.
We can't control the disruption coming from our neighbors. We can't bet our future on the hope that it will suddenly stop. But we can control what happens here.
Yeah. This is an. If you're an American, like, make no mistake, how things were amazing. Like the last, whatever, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Honestly, it's been amazing. And a lot of countries, somehow we've like finagled our way into being very successful. We'll take credit for some of that stuff. Like after World War II or whatever, we were in a good position and we've had a lot of ingenuity and innovation, and America has been successful, but we've also just been in a very good position strategically for the last, what, decades now. And we've managed to have trading partners like Canada to our benefit, selfishly. Like, we love it when other countries depend on us. That's great for us. Of course, we want you to depend on it. That you know what I mean? Like, objectively, any company or entity, like, you gain power by having people rely on you and need you. Um, So that was good for us, and we should have done everything in our power to keep it. We should have been doing everything to keep it exactly how it was. But somehow, in the craziest twist of fate, Donald Trump, in the pursuit of making America great, has perhaps like, I don't know. I was watching a YouTube video a few weeks ago about like the downfall of Rome and the downfall of the Spanish Empire, and how there's a lot of similarities going on with like the downfall of the United States. Or that would be something if Donald Trump, if us electing Donald Trump and his pursuit of perfection and power, that's what led to the downfall of America. Anyway, that's something I've been thinking about.
We can build a stronger country that can withstand disruptions from abroad, that creates good jobs here at home, that's a leader in this new world with a vast network of reliable allies.
If you're Canadian, that's gotta sound like exciting. To me, that sounds great.
That's the Canada Strong plan we're putting into action.
Yeah, the Canada Strong, like Canada First. I've seen some like clips of like US government officials. It makes them very mad. Even though we do the whole like America First. America. Like now Canada is doing that, and it's like I've seen that it's made a lot of like US politicians really upset, very hypocritically.
Its goals are ambitious: to catalyze $1 trillion in investment, to create one Canadian economy out of 13, to build new trade and energy corridors, and to double the size of our clean energy capacity.
Wow, that is ambitious. I gotta say, I'm gonna keep making these comparisons, I think. That sounds exciting compared to like what's going on here in the US. We're not doing anything like investing in ourselves. Or I actually think the United States has had such a long period of prosperity and power. We have forgotten anything else. Like now Canada is like going out, attracting trade partners, asking for investors. America, we're just used to like having this attitude of like, ha, you'll come to us. We're the best. We're the greatest place. They'll come here, you know. They'll all come here and spend your money here. And now that that's not true anymore, I don't think we've come to terms with like how to exist, or like we've relied on that for so long. And now it seems to be ending. And I don't know what we're going to do. But I don't know. This seems like real exciting, the stuff you're doing in Canada. A lot of this stuff.
Yes, that's ambitious. But in a crisis, fortune favors the bold. And there's comfort and confidence to be found in our country's history. We've begun to make big structural changes in the Canadian economy, and they're all designed to make us stronger at home and less reliant on the United States. On housing, we're taking a solution from the past, modernizing it, and creating a new housing agency to build affordable homes faster and transform the housing sector in the process.
Okay, cool. I mean, that's extremely difficult to do, right? Like, not to get too much in the weeds here, but we're having a housing crisis in the United States as well. The Canada is as well, from what I understand. Like, I think in the US, like the average age of a first-time home buyer is like 33 or so. Like people used to think they'd buy a house, have a family when they're like 23 or whatever, 25. You know, that's not correct. That used to be like the American dream. And now, yeah. So it's cool to hear you guys are at least trying to do something about all that.
It's already up and running. And though we have a ways to go yet, housing affordability is already improving. For example, asking rents across Canada at their lowest level in nearly 3 years. On energy and infrastructure, we're removing roadblocks that have been getting in the way of big projects. On trade, to sell our goods and create new jobs, we're building relationships with other countries. We've signed 20 new deals on 4 continents in less than a year because Canada has what the world wants, from energy to education. We have
Whoa! I like this new Canada. If you know, if that's not reaching too far, like this it's bold. It's like just a little bit egotistical, dare I say, and I like it. And you got to have. Maybe this is like a very like an American sentiment, but to succeed, and really change the world, to think that you can, you got to have a little bit of an ego, not too much. That's bad, but you got to kind of think like you're awesome. Like and you've got valuable things to offer. And I like that that's kind of the approach Canada is doing now. I like that. I think that's good.
We have the values to which most of the world aspires. And we're a reliable partner in a world that is anything but. We're defending Canadian sovereignty by investing in our security and creating an industry to support it.
So the investing in the Canadian security stuff, is that directly like is that talking that I mean the world is in a scary state right now, right? Like with Ukraine, Russia, now uh, the U.S. and Iran, and the U.S. It was the U.S. and Greenland, U.S. Canada, Israel Palestine stuff, even, and a lot of uncertainty and chaos and death and war in the world right now. So he might be alluding to that, or maybe the U.S. in particular, or probably both.
We've embarked on an ambitious new mission to rebuild, rearm, and reinvest in the Canadian Armed Forces, with the single largest increase in defense investment in generations. As a result, recruitment to serve our country is already up 13%.
Really?
This is the first time since the fall of the Berlin Wall that Canada will be spending what our allies expect and what we need for our defense.
Wow. Yeah, because like I don't know much about the Canadian military, but here in the U.S. we spend an ungodly amount of money on our military. I think we're known for that. Um, I don't know if Canada is what you're really known for with your military. I did a video recently learning that you guys have some of the deadliest sniper marksman killers in the world, which is scary and impressive. I didn't know that. Um, but you guys are making like, you know, really big revolutionary investment in your military, which is an interesting at this time. That says something to me.
And we're just getting started. Our defense strategy will catalyze $500 billion in investment in Canada over the next decade. Our plan for Canada is gaining momentum, and it will work. But we are not going to fix all our problems tomorrow. And there will be setbacks along the way. The biggest payoffs will take time. So we know that Canadians need a boost today and a bridge to tomorrow.
I like that. Again, as slick as Mark Carney is, I always like, no offense to him, but with any politician ever, I don't care who they are, like it's always in the back of my mind, like, are they just saying what you want to hear? Or like, but putting that aside, the cynical part of me and politicians and that maybe I'm just like so jaded and warped from American politics and American politicians. Maybe I'm projecting that a little, but that certainly put me on my guard here. So for better or for worse, but putting that aside, I like what he's being honest. He's like, it's not all gonna be quick or easy or all work, and that is the reality of how things go, and it's nice to hear that honesty.
That's why, as we build a stronger economy, we're focused on lowering costs for Canadians. On day one in office, we canceled the consumer carbon tax. We cut taxes for 22 million middle-class Canadians, saving a two-income family up to $840 this year. We've cut taxes for first-time home.
I don't know. Then they say like out of touch stuff like that, like we're saving families $800 a year. $800, that's a lot of money. That's like, I'd rather have that than not, but it's like, with given what these days, like the mortgage and here in the US, like healthcare and just the cost of goods and inflation, and it's like, I don't know, it's a little out of touch to be like, hey, we're saving you $75 a month. Like, okay, like that'll pay for like the Peacock, Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, uh, what was the other one? Paramount Plus bundle.
Home buyers, saving them up to $50,000 on their first homes. We've reduced tolls for vehicles on the Confederation Bridge and cut fares by 50% on ferries
Okay.
in Atlantic Canada. We've launched
Okay.
something called automatic federal benefits. What it does is it will help 5.5 million low-income Canadians get the benefits that they're entitled to. We've made the National School Food Program permanent, feeding 400,000 children and saving their parents $800 a year on groceries.
Okay. I mean, now we're starting to talk here. Like maybe the sum of all these different programs and policies, maybe this does make a difference. It's certainly better than, like, I don't ever hear about any of this stuff here in the US.
We're protecting the social programs that give every Canadian a fair chance to get ahead. Childcare, dental care, and pharmacare. We have
Childcare. Talk about expensive. Daycare. Yeah. Oh my God.
everything we need here at home. Most of all, we have each other. Canadians are the hardest working, best educated people in the world. We care deeply about each other and about our country. And Canadians have responded to this crisis with that spirit. We're buying Canadian. We're investing Canadian. We're exploring Canadian. Canadians everywhere are all in. We all desire a better country. We've been a great neighbor, always willing to help our friends in their times of need. We've stood shoulder to shoulder with our allies in some of the toughest circumstances imaginable. In Kandahar, on Juno Beach, and at Vimy Ridge.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just makes me so like disappointed in the state of like the US and Canada right now. Like Canada has done a lot for us and we probably haven't really recognized it enough.
We've been a beacon to the world with our values and our ability to always overcome incredible challenges. The situation today feels unique, but we've faced down threats like this before. And in the weeks and months ahead, I'm going to want to talk with you again. I know you have busy lives and you don't need daily interruptions from me. But the truth is, there's a lot going on in the world, and not all of it is good.
He's going to do cuz this is like on the Mark Carney YouTube channel. Mark Carney's becoming a YouTuber. Wow. He must have been inspired by me, right? Okay. that's talk about bold thing to say. But that's cool. Like I can't help but like smile and yeah, I'm joking, but like it sounds like he's gonna be making these YouTube video updates. Very savvy, very 2026 of him. I like that.
And the stakes could not be higher. The way we're going to get through this is together. There's much forward guidance to be found in our shared history. We will get through this because of who we have always been. A country of tough, decent, caring people. People who grow stronger in adversity.
I like that. Tough, decent, caring people. I like that.
It's our country. It's our future. We are taking back control to build Canada strong. It's already working. Let's keep going. Thank you for your time. I know it's precious.
Wow. What can you say? That was really good. He's very good. I mean, if you're Canadian, I would imagine that would get you kind of like pumped up. Like that's exciting. And he talked about so many new things happening for Canada. It sounds like a bright future. I don't know if he's going to deliver on all this stuff, but it's cool that that's the initiative. That's the plan. I mean, what's the plan here in the U.S.? It makes me think, like, what are we looking forward to? What are we doing? Like, I couldn't even tell you what the future of the United States is supposed to look like right now. Like, Donald Trump needs to get on YouTube and tell us, or maybe not. No, don't do that. But this was really cool. I'm a bit jealous. That's an understatement. A lot of the stuff Canada's doing, I wasn't even really aware of. So this was really cool to hear. It's at the same time depressing to compare all this to what's happening in the US. And it's also like kind of meta and weird that a lot of this is sort of motivated by what's happening in the US, our epic downfall and insanity has somewhat motivated some of this stuff, and so we've self-inflicted our own wound and maybe our own demise while propping up Canada to do what's best for you and move along and work with the rest of the world. And yeah, crazy times, but I enjoyed listening to this. This was a good message and a lot of interesting things to think about. So, anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on this address to the nation by Mark Carney and everything he's saying and promising for Canada. And especially if you're Canadian, like, what do you think of all that? That'd be cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canadian things that I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.